Hey everybody, welcome back to JT Channel, and it is time to review the 2026 Royal Rumble. Couple things before I get started. One, I do not have a whole lot of time. I have some other personal matters to attend to as soon as we can, so I apologize if this seems a little sped up this time. For someone long-winded, that'll be interesting. And two, I've got new subscribers recently, so if you're new here, just a heads up, I don't go through these shows, especially the Rumbles, person by person, entrant by entrant, moment by moment. I just talk about what I want to talk about, the big moments, so I can remember them all, and then review the finishes and whatnot. So with all that out of the way, everybody take a deep breath. Let's talk about the 2026 Royal Rumble, which took place in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The Women's Royal Rumble was first, and yes, if I don't talk about it, I'm going to get yelled at. Everyone had to wear bodysuits. They've been doing these shows since like 2018, 2017, maybe even earlier. They're doing them all the way till 2030. I know they're a pain in the ass. Just get used to it. But this was a good Rumble. I actually think I enjoyed it a little bit more than the men's. We'll talk about that when we get there. Number 1 and number 2 were Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss. They had a little fun back and forth, but they kept acting like they were going to throw each other out or do a finish to one another. And then they eventually just waited for number 3, who I wouldn't talk about unless I had to. And it was Kiana James. The reason I'm laughing is because she's only wrestled maybe once since she got called up to the main roster, but somehow she has the chance to main event WrestleMania. After that, it was just, constant array of good stars, lots of good NXT representation. I cannot stress enough how happy I am to see all the people that were there. Lola Vice, Kendall Gray, and Sol Ruka. My heart was on the floor. Another weird thing that I didn't figure out until later in the night after the show was over was that at 2 points during this Rumble, there were 14 women in the ring. I'm like, that's a lot. Until I realized they probably did that so they could show off. Saudi Arabia is still very much a patriarchal, genocidal society, so having 14 women in bodysuits wrestling doesn't change anything. I know that every time they've had more women on the show, WWE's been like, look, they're progressing. No, they're not. But it was still weird because nothing was happening. It's like 14 women. It's like all these women are in the ring and they were just kind of punch, kick, punch, kick. The star of the Rumble was Lash Legend, which I thought was cool. It's a lot like when Gunther beat John Cena. They need to do something with Lash now. I'm happy she's in this team with Nia Jax, who also had a good showing. It had the best facial expressions throughout the Rumble. But Lash Legend eliminated Charlotte Flair, Jordynne Grace, both of the Bella twins, and someone else. I've been trying to remember who this entire time. Yeah, I could have Googled it. I didn't. But she eliminated 5 people, and they were all like massive names. She looked incredible in the match. I said both the Bella twins. That kind of buries the lead. Brie Bella showed up. There weren't any major surprises in this Rumble. We all expected Brie Bella. We all kind of expected Tiffany Stratton. We all knew there'd be some NXT call-ups. I just feel like if you don't want to enjoy the Women's Rumble for one reason, it would be that. And then again, the little bit of, I don't want to call it boring, but it did slow down when there was a ton of women in the ring and nothing was happening. I was under the impression we'd get a huge name like Rhea Ripley, for example, coming to the ring and starting to chuck people out, but she just didn't. Neither did Nia Jax, neither did Brie Bella or Tiffany Stratton. They all just kind of came out and did the punch kick. Exactly what I wanted to happen happened with Kairi Sane and Asuka. Asuka got thrown over the top rope and was hanging on for dear life, and Kairi went to attack, I think, Io Sky, missed, knocked Asuka out, and then Io eliminated Kairi, and then Asuka was pulling Kairi by her hair before the camera cut away. I was hoping she would miss Kairi, but I think we're going to save all that for Monday Night Raw. Lots of good stuff with the tag team division overall. Like I said, Bria and Nikki were in there, Io and Rhea. You had stuff with the Judgment Day, and it was all very fun. Again, I can't really tell you anything too crazy, any crazy entrances or anything like that. Chelsea Green and Alba Fire had a good time. That was fun. Chelsea got tossed out of the ring and landed on Alba Fire's back, and Alba Fire had to crawl to keep Chelsea in the ring. Becky Lynch was eliminated by Natty. She goes by Natty now. Very happy about that. I think Becky eliminated Maxine, or maybe Natty. I think Natty and Becky eliminated Maxine, and then Becky was like, yeah, Natty. And then Natty threw Becky out. Becky landed on her feet, but then threw her legs in the air and went, I didn't get eliminated. She's been on social media the last 24 hours saying that she's talking to Bob Iger, who I think runs the USA Network or something. Honey, I don't know, maybe he was, I don't know. I know that name, but I couldn't tell you why. That she was going to have them redo the Women's Royal Rumble. She's got her lawyers on it. She's swearing up and down she didn't hit the floor. It's great. I love Becky Lynch's current character. The final four were Tiffany Stratton, Sol Ruca, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. That didn't last long. Let me back up just a little bit. Raquel, she had one of the best eliminations of the night. There were some really good eliminations. I can't remember them all. I'm very sorry. I'm not good at this. But she Tejana bombed Rhea out of the ring onto the apron, and then Rhea fell to the floor. And while she was talking shit, Liv Morgan came up and dumped Raquel. I lost my mind because now I'm convinced that's the WrestleMania match. I'm convinced that tomorrow night on Raw, somehow Raquel Rodriguez is going to win the women's title. And then as we inch towards WrestleMania, Liv is going to be like, oh, I'm going to go after the SmackDown champion. Slap Raquel, change her mind. Do the Batista turn. Do it. Have the balls, WWE, even though they're women. So then it was down to Liv, Tiffany, and Sol. Sol Ruca, she made it to the final three of the Rumble. She hit multiple Soul Snatchers. I'm done listening to people saying the Soul Snatcher is unrealistic. If you are one of those people that think the Soul Snatcher is an unrealistic move, I want you to go to work tomorrow's a Monday, and go do a power bomb to one of your coworkers. Kick them in the stomach, put their head between your legs, lift them up, and throw them down. Let me know how that goes. Let me know the exact moment that you get punched in the face, kicked in the balls, or fired from your job for assault. Wrestling isn't realistic. Stop being I'm done.
Break their neck because you don't know what you're doing.
Exactly. Yeah, or break their neck because you don't know what you're doing. I have a terrifying story about that someday. Anyway, point is, it was down to those three. They all three went out of the ring. They all three were hanging on the middle rope, and I had a panic attack because Liv Morgan and Tiffany Stratton aren't short. Well, Liv Morgan's kind of short, but they're not as tall as Sol Ruca. Sol Ruca's got those legs that start on Monday. You don't find the foot until Friday. And so I was like, she's going to accidentally get eliminated. She's doing the whole kicking her legs thing. They all got back on the apron. Sol got eliminated. Obviously, she went for a Soul Snatcher on the apron. I got mad. I was like, don't do it. She went for it. She got grabbed and chucked out. And then Liv Morgan did the Oblivion, sort of. She did it, grabbed Tiffany Stratton's head, threw her off the apron. Liv Morgan won the Royal Rumble. I reacted in a way I don't know how to describe, but I was so excited. This made me so happy. No one deserves it more in the women's division. I don't care who she faces at WrestleMania. Personally, I do the Raquel match. I'd have Raquel beat Stephanie on Monday. It's a street fight, so have Roxanne get involved, have Liv get involved. Remember, Triple H was big on Batista becoming winning the Rumble and then becoming SmackDown champion. You could have the Judgment Day do the same thing. Have Liv manipulate everybody into being like, hey, you should be champion, Raquel, and then be like, I made you champion so I could take it from you at WrestleMania. This was awesome. I don't even know how else to describe it. As you can tell, I'm trying not to smile. This was my favorite result of the night. You want to know how much of a nerd I am? I cried. I'm not going to lie. I had other reactions. Again, they were weird. I'm a weirdo. But I cried a little bit. I was so happy. I teared up when Brie Bella came out. I knew she was going to be there, but it was really nice to see her. But yeah, so Liv Morgan wins the Women's Royal Rumble. Fantastic showing for Sol Ruca. Fantastic showing for Lash Legend. I hope we do more with both of them. I'd call Sol Ruca up. I wouldn't even blink. I would just have her on Raw tomorrow night. So congratulations to Liv Morgan, and I'm really excited to see what she does with this win. This is going to be the hardest thing with me not having a lot of time because, one, I don't know what to say, and two, there's so much to talk about overall. AJ Styles versus Gunther. We'll talk about the match quickly. It was really good. It was better than the John Cena match. It was better than the Goldberg match. AJ Styles and John Cena still had one of the best matches of last year because of the callbacks and stuff. It was so much fun. But this was probably the best match of the cinema era where, this was cinema. But it was so back and forth. AJ tried his hardest. He cut his arm at some point and then acted like nothing happened. Gunther just absolutely wrecked him, but AJ kept coming back. He was hitting every move in the world. I think he had a springboard 450 and then a Styles Clash that Gunther subsequently kicked out of. There was a low blow powerbomb spot that AJ kicked out of. There was submission after submission. They were brawling on the floor. They were brawling on the announce table. This was great. It was probably one of Gunther's best matches in recent memory. AJ proved he could still go, but in the end, Gunther made him pass out. The referee, I think Michael Cole said Dan Engler used to work for TNA, so he used to call AJ Styles matches, and he was sitting there. Again, you have to see it to believe it. he had this facial expression. The referee's facial expression added to this match. He was screaming at AJ to try to get him to wake up, but he couldn't. He rang the bell. I guess AJ Styles is retired. This was one of the last things he did. He did his big farewell stuff. He took his gloves off to lay him in the ring. He put him back on, did the phenomenal thing to every corner, or to every side of the ring. And then he went to leave with his gloves on, came back and did this, did the Wolfpack stuff. Well, I said Wolfpack, you know what I mean, Bullet Club, whatever, too sweet, either way. Then he left. First things first, before I get into everything else, and again, I don't have a lot of time. Obviously, I'm upset if AJ really has retired from in-ring competition. I first found out about AJ Styles in the early 2000s, probably 2003, 2004. I say 2004 because when I saw him live in 2016, when he was at, not Extreme Rules, Payback. He wrestled Roman Reigns at Payback. Remember that mini feud they had? I was screaming and crying because I had waited 12 years to see him live. So I think I discovered him in 2004. Top 5 wrestlers of all time for me. He was an influence. He's an inspiration. He is the reason wrestling is the way it is today. Now, you can argue with him if you want because, there's too many dives and flips and whatnot. But go back and watch what AJ Styles was doing in the early 2000s. None of that would exist without AJ Styles. You want my personal opinion? I'm holding back tears right now. Because, again, I don't want to believe he's done wrestling. His contract's up today. There's a strong urge on the internet for him to go to AEW. Even some AEW wrestlers were tweeting some stuff that you could clearly tell referenced AJ Styles, including Will Ospreay just tweeted out phenomenal. Take that with a pinch of salt. Will Ospreay's out on injury. Probably just a big AJ Styles fan. Lots and lots of people are talking about it. Ricochet is replying to people saying AJ's going to go to AEW and saying, no, he's not. He's too old. He doesn't need to be here. He won't show up. It just feels like maybe he'll show up on AEW soon. I would have him do it. I would have AJ Styles versus Kenny Omega. AJ Styles versus Will Ospreay. Really? You got Kenny, or I already said Kenny Omega. You got, who was I just thinking of? My child coughed and made me forget. But you've got plenty. Oh, Kyle Fletcher. That's what I was thinking of. You got Kyle Fletcher over there. Mark Briscoe. John Moxley. I would love to see John Moxley versus AJ Styles. And then he could go back to Japan if he wanted to. I don't care. I said this on social media. I'm happy for him, no matter what he does. If he's retired, good. He had an incredible career. I think that started in the 90s with some matches in WCW, and then he had a tryout in WWE, and then was Mr. TNA for like a decade plus, and then he's been in WWE for a decade. If he wants to retire, good for him. As a fan, I'm going to miss him. If it comes out that he's actually fully retired, I'll do a big video about him. But overall, love the match. Gunther's the career killer. I changed my mind. I have changed my mind. I said a while back, I don't think Gunther should end everyone's career. Fuck it. Goldberg, Cena, Styles, have him end. Brock Lesnar's career, Randy Orton's career, Chris Jericho's career. I no longer care. Have him end my career. I'm not even wrestling. But this was awesome. And yeah, if it's the end for AJ Styles, thank him. Thank you, AJ, for everything. If it's not the end, I'm excited to see what's next. And I'm excited to see what they do with Gunther now. I always hate having to do one of the shorts for the background, but sometimes I can't find what I want. But up next was Drew McIntyre versus Sami Zayn. I wanted Drew holding the belt up or whatever, because he won, right? A little bit of a confession. I was accidentally behind when I started the show because ESPN showed it started at 2, but it actually started at 1. And when I finished the AJ Styles Gunther match, I wanted to go to the next match, and it jumped to live, and I couldn't fix it. It was being too stupid. And I had accidentally completely missed this match. Now, I went back, watched clips, read about it, did everything I could, besides going back to just watch it, because, again, I'm busy today. But from what I understand and what I did see, this was awesome. They started with a lockup, which is a bit weird, but I guess they were kind of teasing the fans. After that, they started to kick each other's ass. Just beating the hell out of each other. They were throwing each other around on the floor. There were finishes hit left, right, and center. Tons of big reversals. I think he powerbombed Sami through the announce table. There was a second rope, white noise. There were haluva kicks, blue thunder bombs, claymores. It went exactly how it should have gone. Sami was given a lot, but also kind of had his ass kicked. It ended with back-to-back claymores. I think Sami went for a haluva kick. Drew hit him with a claymore, hit him with another one, which is technically 3 claymores. to retain the title. This will be the match I blow through the quickest, only because it was the shortest match on the card, and everyone knew which way this was going to go. There were lots of people, surprisingly, in my comments and in other comment sections saying that they were definitely going to give it to Sami because they were in Saudi Arabia, and I'm like, no, they're not. They're going to tease it, but they're going to let Drew hold on to the title, at least until Elimination Chamber. I don't know if he'll hold it all the way to WrestleMania. We'll see. But it was a good match. From what I saw and what I read, they did give Sami up quite a bit. They let him kick out of a lot. He got his ass kicked. What's next for Sami Zayn? I don't know. I think Drew McIntyre will probably go down the route with Cody Rhodes. We'll talk about the men's rumble here shortly. But yeah, this was really good. And yeah, I have no notes on this match. I really don't. And boy, oh boy, is the internet having a fun time with this. It's time to talk about the men's Royal Rumble match. While I don't think this was as good as last year's, I do think it was fun. There were some fumbles that we'll talk about. I think both Rumbles lacked major surprises, even though the one really cool surprise in the men's Rumble was pretty much worth it, in my opinion. Let's get this out of the way. No Chris Jericho. There was no Chris Jericho. Fine, whatever, I don't care. No Dominic Mysterio either, which I thought was interesting, but if he's not healed up, he's not healed up. I know I didn't mention this in the Women's Rumble. There was also no Bianca Belair. But again, health and happiness first. Maybe they weren't cleared, all these people that are injured, so it's whatever. Number one was Obafemi, not Braun Breaker. If you saw SmackDown, you know what I'm talking about. That was funny. You got to go see during the pre-show, Paul Heyman got in Adam Pearce's face. He's like, oh, okay, so you got caught that he was going to be number one, and then you just went and made him number two? Loved it. Which likely means number one was supposed to be Braun and then Obafemi, but I think it was cooler having Obafemi out there first. Then Braun Breaker comes out and is attacked by Austin Theory, a masked man. I'm convinced it was Austin Theory, but whatever. Some people think it's Adam Pearce. I'm going to lose my mind if it's Adam Pearce. It's not. The guy wasn't built like Adam. But yes, a masked, hooded man attacked Braun Breaker, hit him with a super kick, hit him with a stomp. It's probably Austin Theory. Throws Braun Breaker in the ring. Bell rings. Obafemi immediately eliminates Braun Breaker. Love that start. I really did. I thought that was great. Number three was Solo Sikoa. Again, I wouldn't talk about these things. They weren't important. But Solo Sikoa comes out. They had a good little fight. Obafemi goes on a bit of an elimination spree. He eliminated 5 people. Brock Lesnar came out pretty early in the Rumble for it being Brock Lesnar. And then he just kind of eliminated Obafemi. Big fumble. Not good. If I had a rating system, this would get a really low rating. I don't. I just talk. But Obafemi needed to eliminate way more people. I don't care that Brock Lesnar eliminated him. I'm genuinely okay with that. Who else was going to eliminate Obafemi by themselves? Brock Lesnar. Fine, whatever. But for him to eliminate him, I don't want to say unceremoniously, but didn't feel like a big deal. What? Well, oh, yeah. My wife, who was watching the Rumble with me. It's always weird when she's actually watching this with me. But she wanted Omos to be in it. No Omos in this Rumble. No. Well, there were some AAA guys. We'll talk about that in a second. I'm so happy. Again, internet mad. But in kind of almost a joke elimination, like he just kind of threw Obafemi out when he wasn't paying attention, and he only eliminated 5 people. You fumbled. That's a Rumble fumble. That's going to be a thing. I'm going to make it a thing. But after that, the big surprise we have to talk about, LA Knight came back for one, and Royce Keys, Powerhouse Hobbs, coolest debut in a long time, in my opinion, because when his number came up, I think he was number 14. I don't know when LA Knight came out, so I apologize if I got those out of order. But when his number came up, it said Powerhouse Hobbs on all the screens on a brick wall. But then pyro went off, the brick wall got destroyed, and then it said Royce Keys. For everyone going, that's a stupid name. Royce is the name of his youngest son. Keys is the maiden name of his late mother. Shut up. So he comes out, has a great showing, knocks a bunch of people out. He absolutely wrecked somebody when he first got in there. I just don't remember who it was. But he had some cool face-offs. I don't remember if he actually faced off Obafemi. He should have. You had the Vision all out there at some point as well. Bronson Reed. I think right after Bronson Reed was Austin Theory. And I think Michael Cole made a reference to the moves that the Masked Man made. I'm telling you, it's going to be Austin Theory. And we might get Austin Theory and Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed at WrestleMania. That's not what I want. Who cares what I want? Well, we'll talk later. But they all had their moment. Another big fumble, in my opinion, you didn't have Roman Reigns and Brock Lesnar interact. You had Roman and Cody interact when Roman came out, but Brock was eliminated by LA Knight and Cody Rhodes while Jey Uso was making his entrance. Again, I didn't want Brock Lesnar to win. I didn't want him to do much. I'm fine with that elimination. I'm fine with all that. But wow. Like, wow. Mr. Iguana was in the Rumble, and La Parka was in the Rumble. Those were two people I said should be in there the most. People are mad about that because there's certain people that were omitted from the Rumble. And that's what I said in my video, in a couple of my videos. You're going to have AAA guys in there. You're going to omit some people. People are talking about Finn Balor, even though the story right now is that he wasn't allowed in the Rumble, so he has to take matters in his own hands. It's like people don't watch the product. But another person that wasn't in the Rumble that did irk my nerves is Kit Wilson, until I saw the internet today and remember that Kit Wilson's character is toxic masculinity. That's not going to go over well in a country that is male dominated. Like, that would not have gone over well. Same thing with Chris Jericho if he would have come out to Judas. I know we all hate Saudi Arabia, but it's the truth. Rey Mysterio couldn't have a cross on his mask and had to wear a top to cover the cross on his chest. This is how Saudi Arabia is. We all just might as well get used to it. Other big things in the Rumble, I don't remember any. There was no Carmelo Hayes. That was another big one. There was Ilya Dragunov and The Miz, but no Carmelo Hayes. And again, I think they could have had Carmelo and Trick in the ring at the same time. Another mistake. Phoenix was eliminated before Penta got in there. I get WWE wanting to hold off the official teaming up of the Lucha Brothers, but you could have had them in the ring together, teasing it at least. They made a lot of mistakes in this Rumble. They really did. It got down to a final 9. Number 30 was Gunther. So again, no Chris Jericho. The final 4 were Logan Paul, Randy Orton, Roman Reigns, and Gunther. That was fine with everybody but Logan Paul. He was the first one eliminated. I can't remember who eliminated him, but Logan went out, and then Orton went out. I would have been fine with Randy Orton. I said this in my 5 do's and don'ts.
Orton that eliminated him.
It might have been Randy. Yeah, I think it was Orton that might have eliminated Paul. But, what was I saying? It's gone now. But, I said Randy Orton, I think, is the person who should win 3 Royal Rumbles. Like, the only other person to do that is Stone Cold Steve Austin. And I already know. I know they're going to give it to somebody else like Cody Rhodes. But I'd rather it was Randy Orton. But anyway, it gets down to Gunther and Roman Reigns. They have a good little back and forth, but Gunther had already wrestled earlier in the night. Obviously, Gunther was my pick. But Roman Reigns threw him out. Roman Reigns wins the Royal Rumble. People are mad. I saw somebody before the Rumble aired saying that, they're just going to give it to Roman again. And I'm like, his last Rumble win was 2015. You guys act like he's won 17 Rumbles. He won 1 Royal Rumble way back in 2015 when everyone hated him. People think he didn't need to win it, but he's been out of the main event scene for a hot minute. Like, WWE is actually telling this story very well if you're paying attention and not just having a knee-jerk reaction. I love Roman Reigns. I've said this in many videos. I've loved Roman since the beginning. I was with him through all the crap. I was with him through suffering succotash. I was with him through dog food. And now he's the tribal chief. He's one of my favorite wrestlers in the world. And I'm happy for him. What does he do at WrestleMania? Well, my personal opinion, he should challenge CM Punk. I know a lot of people want CM Punk and Braun Breaker to have their rematch and Braun to become world champion. Not against that. Totally fine. But if I was WWE, there is so much money in that one-on-one match. They did the triple threat last year as the main event of night 1. And yes, that counts as a main event. Another argument I'm tired of having. The main event of WrestleMania was Roman, Seth, and Punk. Roman and Punk closing the entire weekend, closing night 2. Punk gets his proper, again, shut the fuck up. He gets another WrestleMania main event. It's night 2, and you can give the title to Roman. No one's going to care. Of course, everyone assumes that Cody's going to win the WWE title back. We'll get Roman Cody 3. I just don't think that needs a belt. I mean, does that mean Roman takes the title off Cody and then we go back to Roman as champion? And then what do we do when Roman is champion again? As either belt. I'll take that argument. I understand. What do we do when Roman Reigns is champion again after the 1,300 day plus reign? But I don't care, right? I really don't care. I'm happy for Roman Reigns. I'm excited to see what they do next. There were a lot of mistakes in this Rumble. There were. I don't think it was nearly as good as 2025's. Again, the fumbles, no Kit Wilson. They did not give Obafemi nearly enough. There's lots of wrestlers that should have been in the ring together that weren't. The Lucha Brothers, Roman and Brock. Something I forgot to mention, I was about to say, I'm coming to the end here, is a part of the Rumble that made a lot of people mad, that made me super happy. I was laughing my ass off, is that El Grande Americano comes out, he dominates for a minute, and then El Grande Americano comes out again. The original El Grande Americano, meaning Chad Gable, who is just he might be more jacked than anyone on the roster, not named Royce Keys. But having the two El Grande Americanos, that was fun. I would have rather it was just Chad Gable, but I'm fine with this. They'll probably have El Grande Americano versus El Grande Americano feud, Raw, AAA, whatever they want to do. I'm fine with that because how many times have we done that? You remember, I mean, in AEW right now, you have Hologram and El Clone, whatever his name is. We had Sin Cara and other Sin Cara. Sorry, my phone wants to do a update and it just cut me off. So if this last few minutes of the video seem weird, seem like a random cutoff, that's why. But anyway, we had the Sin Cara feud between Sin Cara Azure and Sin Cara Negra, blue and black. Back in the day, we had The Undertaker versus Undertaker. We've had Kane versus Kane. So go ahead and do it again. It's been long enough since we did that in WWE. So Grande Americano versus Grande Americano. Do it. I don't care. It'll be fun. I hope by the end of this, I hope we get to WrestleMania and everyone's unmasked. Because I would like to see Pete Dunne, Tyler Bate, Ludwig Kaiser, and Chad Gable actually wrestle as themselves. But whatever. So Roman Reigns wins the Men's Royal Rumble. And with that, thank you everybody so much for watching. Again, I'm sorry for the last tiny bit of this video. My phone cut me off. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and leave a comment what you thought about the Royal Rumble. People are angry. Not about the opener. I saw like 2 comments like, oh, why did Liv Morgan win the Royal Rumble? Everyone wanted Liv Morgan to win the Royal Rumble. I'm happy for everyone. I'm obviously the happiest about Liv Morgan. Totally fine with Drew retaining his title. I think he should hold it all the way to Mania. Sad that AJ Styles could be done. If he is actually completely done, I'll do a big ass video for him. Triple H has come out and said, as far as I know, he's done wrestling. You don't know. And then I'm happy for Roman Reigns. He'll always be one of my top guys. I'm excited for the road to WrestleMania. Elimination Chamber is in Chicago. Excited to see what they do there. And yeah, so that's it for now. There might be more videos in the future, especially if AJ Styles is done. I know I've said that multiple times. I just want to reiterate. I understand it's big. He changed the game, but I want to see what happens, right? But until next time, this is JT Channel. I am JT, and I will see you in the next one. That's right.